Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to this session of Navigating with Noel. And I am pleased to be moderating today's panel session on a topic that I think is very, very interesting, very, very important to the particular time, the season that we are in right now. And I think you would actually love this particular session. When we look at the world today, we see so many versions of what love is, so many definitions, so many, perspectives of what love is. And we really just want to know which one is it going on, which one are we supposed to work with, which one are we supposed to take and run with, right? And especially today, my generation, Gen Z, my wonderful generation, my woke generation, they are challenging traditions. Love used to be simple, but today we're not so sure anymore because they are challenging traditions, rebranding what love really is. So we want to look at this subject called love. What really is it? What is just a trend? What is the real deal? We want to reduce the noise and focus, cut through the confusion and focus on, the real deal, which is why we have packaged this session today to talk about love, romance, and other things. Without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the session, and I just want to officially introduce you to my beautiful guests, my panelists. Hi, everybody. It's really, really nice to be here in your midst. So before we go straight into answering the questions, let me just ask you to introduce yourselves from my left to my right. Just what is your name so that we can know?
Yeah, it's nice to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is Blessing Omarikin.
All right. Welcome, Blessing. And you?
Hi, thank you, Yolanda. My name is Wisdom.
Hi, Wisdom. Hey, pretty lady.
Hi, Yolanda. I like your name a lot.
Thank you.
So, hi, everyone. My name is Izzy Gift, and it's nice to be here.
All right. Her name is Izzy Gift. His name is Wisdom. Her name is Blessing. My name is Yolanda, and it is indeed nice to be here. So we know that you probably have so many questions in your mind, and maybe some questions you've actually asked out loud. And today we want to try to answer those questions from our perspective about love, romance, and other things. So let's start with our first question. Can you take love at first sight and run with it? Can you build a whole relationship or even marriage, dare I say, of love at first sight? Is that enough?
It's not really enough because there are other things that makes up love. So that was just the physical attraction. But then love is patience, love is endurance, love sacrifices. So, and then the person in question have to also love you. Mm-hmm. So you don't just love person and then you want to love that person. That person at least have to have some level of attraction or interest in you. So you cannot really build if the person you want to build with is not interested in building with you. So it's okay to love somebody, of course it's a thing. But if it's not also coming from the other person, it's not enough.
All right. So, Blessing, let me just ask you something based on what he said, because he said he fell in love at first sight. But then he later went on to describe love as patient, kind. Is it that he saw the person and immediately, all those attributes, he was patient or the person was kind or like, so can you, based on his definition, can you call that thing love or is it just attraction?
So let me just explain, because again, generally, one of the most abused words in life is the word love, right? Because oftentimes than not, people have different kind of feelings, people have different kind of experiences, and because the only way they can explain it is they feel because they have a particular feeling at a particular point in time. And of course, love is such a good thing. People just think, oh, this can't be any other thing than love. So I'm just going to, I kind of agree with what he has said, but I'm just going to differ a bit as regards whether it's possible to see somebody and suddenly just love the person. What I would want to call that would be something like affection, attraction, right? Not necessarily love or a crush. Because love is such a serious thing. It's not just one of the ways to drag the potency of love is to reduce it to a feeling or reduce it to a thing. Love is more than a feeling. Love is more than a thing. Reason because at the point where feeling fails, love still stands if it's true love, right? So love is something more, it's serious. And I like the fact that he spoke about the fact that love is sacrifice. That's more like what love is. without at the risk of sounding spiritual, but I like to say this.
Sure.
That love is, like he spoke about the fact that love is sacrifice. And remember that scripture that says that Jesus was willing to sacrifice himself for his friends.
Yeah.
Again,
No better love has no man than this. Yeah.
you know, it's an intentional decision. It's not just, the Bible spoke about the fact that while we are yet sinner, Christ died. That's kind of very intentional.
Yeah.
You know? And also spoke about the fact that love is long lasting. I think there's a scripture in Jeremiah that says that, Jeremiah 33, that spoke about the fact that God speaking and said, I have loved you with an everlasting love.
Yeah.
So love is, for love to bud and blossom, it needs time. And until time has acted on love, you cannot, at that initial point, meet a person and say, so the question is, the person you met, yes, I understand the fact that there is a feeling. Can you truly say, are you willing at that point to die for that person? It takes knowledge to die for people.
Yeah.
You can't just meet somebody on the road, and because you have a particular feeling, you can truly say, I can die for this person. It takes time. So, however, there are certain people you can almost feel like, I think I can die for this person. But it's an informed experience. It's not something you just spontaneously get on and you suddenly just think. So I think that, like I said, love is a word that has really been abused, and it's not just a feeling. So what I would describe as what looks like a first sight experience is affection, attraction, which are also good. But love is deeper than that. Love is a person. Love is not just a feeling. So we can feel certain way. That doesn't mean that it's love. It could be something else. Yeah.
Very profound. Thank you. Let's just hear from Izini before we move to the next question.
Yeah, thank you, Yolanda. So building on what Wisdom and Blessing had already said, I think the place I would like to comment is understanding the word love. What does love mean? What is love? Just like Blessing had said earlier, this word love has been abused, misused, beaten, trampled upon, maltreated. Because you see someone, you like the way the person speaks, you like the way the person talks. Have you ever met someone that you like the way the person eats?
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
You like the way this person eats. You like the way this person sits. At that point, you can't make a decision, an informed decision of love.
Because you are blinded.
That is, you liking what that person does. You could say, oh, I like this person. I like this person's body size. I like this person's pretty face. I like the way this person speaks.
Aesthetics.
So, when we understand what love is, we would ask ourselves, can this whole thing be something you can get at first sight? Are you willing to be patient with someone at first sight? Are you willing to sacrifice for this person at first sight? It takes time, just like what Blessing has said. It takes time. You have to make an informed decision. You must have seen the flaws of this person, maybe 40% of the flaws of this person, 60% of the good parts of this person, and you choose to stay with this girl or guy regardless, and you are making an informed decision to commit to be loyal, to commit to trust, to commit to sacrifice, to commit to be kind, even when the person is not showing you an atom of kindness. Because what happens is this: when we see people and we love them at first sight, the way we say it, when this person stops being that setting where you met them, you no longer love them.
Yeah.
So that means that love, it can't be love. Because
Exactly.
love should go beyond that season. It should have longevity.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you can't fall out of love.
When
No.
people say you fall out of love, I tend to say you can't fall out of love.
Wow.
Because the word love is big enough to accommodate the excesses of people. So no matter how far this person drags you, no matter what this person does to you, it's a commitment, it's a decision. Do you know God?
This strong.
I love you. God is love.
Yeah.
So when you say to someone I love you, you're saying I God you. There's
So
nothing
romantic.
that you've ever done that Jesus would say, I don't collect my debt from Una. It's not possible. Do you get?
Absolutely.
So it's a commitment, it's a decision. So are you able to just make that decision and just seeing that person? Because if it's the person's glasses that you saw and you're like, you're falling in love with this person at first sight, when the glasses break, are you still going to be committed to loving this person? So I feel like, I believe that what we see and tag as love at first sight is attraction. There's something you just see or you noticed about this person, something very conspicuous about that person.
Yeah, because that's where love
yes,
starts from.
it is good.
That's
it
where
is
love
good.
starts from.
Yeah, it's a good thing. However, you can't classify that as love. It is on that thing that you build upon. Okay, because I like what this person is wearing or I like the way this person is speaking, can I build on this thing and see if I can actually keep loving this person?
Love it. Thank you very much, Izine, for that. I always tell people that you eat with your eyes first, right? So if you bring a plate of food and it's not attractive, you probably not even, it's not near your mouth, right? But if you see it, you like it, you are attracted to it, you're ginger to take the taste of the food, then you can now say, I love that food. But if you did not taste it, you just saw it, you'd be like, I like how the food looks. You know, it's aesthetically pleasing, but you cannot necessarily say you love the food because what experience you have of the food. You just saw it.
Wow.
You know.
So that attraction is not love.
It's not love. It's not love.
But love can be built on the attraction.
Yes, because that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it starts from the attraction. Because if you are not attracted to a person, you will not even come close to the person enough that you know you love them. Because you are not attracted already. You're like, stay away. You're repulsed already, or you're just like, you just take a cursory glance at it. You don't even look at it twice. So you don't even get to that point where you have to experience, you have to be gingered, or either maybe you're forced to experience the person, or I don't know. Yeah. But like, what I'm just saying that as far as conscious decisions go, you have to first be gingered to want to know the person. Then, you know. So what do I know? So let's move to the next question. We're talking about love. I think it's Gary Chapman, or I think he's the one that came up with that, about the 5 love languages. Yeah. And you know, he said there are 5, but I think it's 6 because, like I said, my own is money, so, and it's not in that 5, so I don't know. Yeah, that's my 6th one, so like it's subjective. But you know, it's not me that's answering the questions. Yeah, so love languages. What is love language and how important is it to a relationship? I think I want to ask Izine that.
Yes, I'd really like to answer that question. Let's pick the 2 words, love and language. What does language mean to you? Language is how you communicate. We're speaking English. And you can understand me because you learned English while growing up. So it's the same way you learn how to love people in the way that they want to be loved. You can't love me the way you want to love me. You have to love me the way I want to be loved. Take, for instance, I come in here and I'm asking you that, oh, I'm hungry. What would you ask me? Exactly. You won't just serve me, hey, we're going.
What if that's what is in the house?
Yes, but you would have to ask first, what do you want to eat? Okay, so you have to speak my language. For the fact that you're the one dishing out or giving me the food does not mean that you have to determine what I eat. Okay, so this is where the concept of love language even comes into play. The way that I want to be related to, that will make me feel accepted and valued, that is just my definition of love language. Okay. I like it when you hold my hands. I like it when you give me gifts. You know, yours is still part of the gift because money can be cash gifts. Cash gifts, yeah. I like it when you buy me food.
But wait, is yours really money?
No, I'm just joking.
So yes, I like it when you buckle my shoes for me. This is me. I like it when you help me do some things. You don't necessarily
You're living
need
in
to.
Kejom.
No, because I always say that my number one reason for marrying is just so that he can be ironing my clothes. I always say it. Me, I don't hide my mouth. I say it.
Are you graduating from
I
love language
say
to
it.
selfish? Then let's be sure.
Well, that's my love language. Just saying that's my love language.
Yeah, they're cleaners there now.
So, and then, picking from what you just said, we should also, thank you, we should
welcome.
also be careful not to dump our unrealistic desires and ask people for these things as our love languages. There is a thin line between love language and selfishness.
Greed, selfishness.
Greed. Selfishness is the right word. There's a thin line between love language and selfishness, because you can see or notice a lapse or some lapses in you, and you want someone else to fill it in for you, and you are tagging it as love language. You don't have 2M, but you want someone that will be giving you 2M. It is selfishness. It is
You're
not
not
a
even
love
loving
language.
yourself in your own love language,
Exactly.
but you want another person to love you in
It
that
is
love
selfishness. It's not a love language. So we should understand that love language is how you would love to be communicated, so that you are having this feeling of acceptance and value. So is love language important in relationship? Oh yes, because I can't be speaking Spanish and you're speaking English and we would relate well. It wouldn't work. We have to communicate. Even in the scriptures, God knew the importance of language and unity when they were building the Tower of Babel. So if you understand my language, we can build
together,
anything. I mean, it could just be my language when I am in a quote unquote depressed state. Nobody should be in depression. In a depressed state could be you patting my back and not raising your voice. And another thing we should understand is this: love language changes.
Okay.
Your love language when you are pregnant will be different from when the baby is born.
Okay.
At that point that you're pregnant, it could be rubbing your back that will make you feel loved. At the point the baby is there, it could be taking care of the baby, helping me change the baby's diaper, helping me to feed the baby, so that you feel loved and accepted. But at every point in time, you should understand that whatever it is that makes you feel loved, whatever it is that makes you feel accepted, it is your love language. And it is important in every relationship. Because I can't be speaking Spanish, you're speaking French in our relationship, and we expect it to work. However, we need to understand that you're not the one that will determine what you give to someone as their love language. They should determine it, and you can walk around it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that last line. And that Tower of Babel thing, I think God is really creative, because he could have done anything. He could have just brought the tower down, but he just made them start speaking gibberish. And
Because he knew that if he had brought it down and they were still speaking the same language,
You'll have seen
They would
it.
use
they will build it again. That's power of unity
wise.
when there
Actually,
is.
never thought of that before.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything to add to that?
I also want to add on to the issue of love language. Okay. The only way you can show me that you love me is when you buy me little things. Get me? So I can remember somebody stole my heart with banana back in school. Because the person I was with, her love language wasn't gifting, and she never paid attention, but I was constantly buying for her. Then I was the faculty president at that time, so she was in year 1, so I helped her do some things, and then she just bought me banana. Then I started thinking about this girl. I'm telling you sincerely, just a banana.
Yeah, so I think the balance to bring to that is that in as much as you do things to somebody because you would like it to be done to you, it is more important that you know what the person wants to be done to
Exactly.
them. That triumphs whatever, because you could think that, oh, because if you do it for me, I will like it. That's why you're projecting that, what you like will be what the person like, but the person may not necessarily like that. And that is why, thankfully it's in the word language. You must speak it. And it's when she said that love languages change, and you can only know when it's changing through communication. I think that's very profound, because if you're not constantly asking, how can I love you at this point? What can I do to make you feel? What do you need at this point? The person, and we're not, in as much as yes, we love each other, we're not witches. Like, I cannot stay and know what's in your head. So I think that's a way that I would also kind of excuse her that she was not acting up to standards for you, but she probably just didn't know.
She was a good girl, but just that maybe
Nobody
gifting was.
Yeah, but like, did you tell her though? Did you ever tell her that? Oh, this is what I like.
No, we never got to that.
You
But
have it.
at
You
least
speak
I was
the
used to right.
Yes.
Maybe I didn't have enough knowledge then
Yeah,
because we were
fair
just in
enough.
school, of course.
Yeah, and sorry, to pick on something that he said, he mentioned that he buys her gifts.
Yeah.
Whenever he sees something, he's thinking about her.
Yeah.
This is the way you want to be loved. Did you for a moment, or would you now for a moment think that you were projecting on her the way you want to be loved and not necessarily allowing her to express the way she wants to be loved? Do you get?
It was later on that I understood what I was doing. I didn't have knowledge of love languages then.
Okay.
When all this was happening. All I knew is that once I love somebody, I want to give that person things. I just go, okay, let's go. It was these were my love. But she was good. She was a good girl. But I never knew that gifting could make me feel so much connected with the person. It was when I started not thinking about it. Yeah, because of this banana. That's when I said, maybe this is my love language. But she was a good girl. I get me. So it just I
Just in
think
case you were watching,
You're a good girl. Good girl.
like, she-
You're a good girl.
Like, I relate because for me it was a friend. Not this one is not like romantic love or anything, but love language. I think they still apply beyond
Yes.
the confines of romantic love.
Relationships,
and
yeah.
so we are working together, and we attend rehearsals together. And one time I told him he was coming, and I was like, "Oh, when you're coming, buy me Sprite," and he bought it. And the next day we were working together, and I stopped him that, "Oh, I want to buy Sprite," and I bought it for myself. The third time we were together, like, I had already gotten to the venue, and then he just came and then he just gave me Sprite and Chupa Chups. And it seems like it's very minute, but I felt
thoughtfulness.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm like, that was so thoughtful.
Yeah.
And that day I was even having a bad day and everything. I was like, that was so thoughtful. Thank you.
That's how it happened.
Because you may just think it's just like the mundane things, but it just
Sprite.
happens like that. Literally, Sprite.
Banana.
the mundane things.
It's bigger than
Little things,
3 hours call.
big to them. Yes. Yeah.
But to another person, that 3 hours call really mattered to them.
Would I love quality time?
Which is why it's unique to each person. All right. So my next question is to you, actually. Many people have fantasies about their love life. Growing up, I used to read a lot of romance books, and my mom would tell me, Yolanda, those books you're reading, good for you, but I hope you know that this is not reality. Because you read and then you hear that, this person, they just fell in love under the moonlight, under the rain, they are dancing, and it just looks everything looks rosy, happily ever after. And so basically, especially girls, I mean, I'm sure guys too have fantasies about their love lives, like, who this kind of person I want to marry, how I want it to be, how I want my wedding to be. I mean, you guys know the thing, preach that side.
I don't really think about this since wedding.
Sad.
It's not happening.
Okay. But many people have fantasies about their love life, partners, romance, and so on. So how can those fantasies be balanced with, first of all, those fantasies, are they wrong in themselves? And then, if they are not wrong, how can they be balanced with real life? And I think I have a follow-up question, but let me allow you to answer that first.
That's a very, very good question. Okay, so face value. There's nothing wrong with fantasies. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's because fantasies, because sometimes they look very, in our imagination, they look very magical. But for Christ's sake, we all have dreams. Yeah. We all have aspirations. We all have hope for what we want in the future. And it's all right to dream, right? It's all right to say, okay, when I marry, I'm going to do this with my husband. We're going to go to France. Do all of those things. There's nothing wrong with that. But where it becomes a problem is when you're faced with reality, you're unable to reevaluate your fantasies to fit to what you can see and what is available in your reality. That's what the challenge is. And I think many of us, we don't know where to draw the lines between fantasy and realities. And like I said, I started by saying that having dreams, fantasies, sometimes they are fantasies because we consider them slightly magical. They look like, Cinderella stories, stars everywhere, and all those things, and all of those things. There's nothing wrong. And there are people that are currently living their fantasies, and it's good. If you have the means and you have the time, if it will make you happy, for Christ's sake, if you get married today, you've always wanted to go to Disneyland or something. If you have the money and you have the time, come on, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not bad, it's not sinful, and all of that. It's good. However, when you are in Nigeria and means are not meeting,
You're juggling Lagos traffic.
exactly, you're having to juggle that. A couple of other challenges. You don't have the means to do that at the moment. There are certain people that would rather hold on to their fantasy and destroy their reality. Yes. They would rather hold on to it tenaciously. They don't want to let it go. But the realities are saying that you can't do that for now, for today. You can't do that. So I think that's where the challenge
You may
is.
not even get to do it for life.
Exactly. So I think
That's true.
so balancing it is learning how to, and the funniest thing, sometimes we think these things are peculiar to marriage and relationship, but we do that all the time. We reevaluate our fantasies all the time. You meet a new friend and you thought this girl is just going to be my best friend, and suddenly 3 months after that, you see her lying to you, betraying you. You reevaluate and get her out of your life. You meet somebody and you're like, I think this girl is going to you see her reading a novel and you're like, oh, she reads a lot, so I think because I read a lot, she's going to be my friend. We're going to be reading partner. And after a while, you realize that she was just carrying that book for carrying sake.
Exactly.
To show that you get what I mean. You just realize that, man, I can't do life with this person. Reevaluate it and get her out of your life. Fantasies for me are like dreams, desires, and there's something bad. But where the challenge is when we are unable to reevaluate it to meet with what we have in front of us.
Okay, thank you. Like I said, I had a follow-up question. Talking about reality, what is real, what is not. Let's talk about social media influence on the expectations of love and relationships. I know that many times sometimes if I'm scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and I'm seeing some and I just like, what is it going? Like, allow the singles rest. Allow us breathe. And then it just looks like everything is rosy. And today they're flying here, tomorrow they're going here. Today he's surprising her. There's one particular notorious couple that has been on the internet that have not let us rest. But I'm not calling names. You just see those kind of content, and then you're like, is this love? Like, is this? I must experience this. Is this how love is sweet? So basically, how does social media influence the expectations on love and relationships? Like, let's just analyze the impact of the online portrayals of romance on real life expectations.
Okay, so just to speak to that, one of the things I would say is this: no one should go to social media and think that those things are not real. Love is such a good thing, and it's interesting, and it can be like that. That's the truth.
Can be like that.
Yes, it can. It can be like that. People experience things that are even better than what we see on social media.
Yeah.
And it's not, because again, sometimes, because of the level of bad reputation that marriage has, sex has, and etc., people think some of those things are not real. There are people that are experiencing good marriages, the good love life, and it's so sweet, right? But again, we spoke about sacrifice initially. So first is to know that that is possible. However, placing that side by side with reality, it's also true that the many persons that are not experiencing that, they are just creating content. Yes. There's money in content making. Believe me, true.
I know.
There's money in it. So there are certain people that are doing a number of things because they're just creating content, right? So now this is an impression. This is an impression for younger people. I don't know any couple on Facebook that want to quarrel and fight, right? That put on camera and say, let's quarrel and fight.
Yeah.
Okay? So what happens is this: because people are used to showing us the good part, the sweet part, they don't show us the other part. There's a tendency to believe that because they are like this on social media, they don't have their quarrel times, they don't have their down times. There's no relationship that is free from conflict, however little it is. Okay, so because we get to see all the good sides, the good things, they go to Paris today, they are with their kids tomorrow, they are doing goals with their family today, and we see all those things. We have the tendency to believe that is all there is about life, but it's not true. Everybody, no matter how enjoyable our lives are, we always have that part of our life that almost like, why is it like this? Why is this season like this? Why is this happening? Why is this not happening like this and like that? So believe me, it happens to them as well. Some of them have only learned to max it. Some of them have only learned to live that way, irrespective of what they're going through in their families, and all of that. So like I said, what it does for younger people is to think that, oh, this is all there is about life, but it's not true. Okay, it's the fact that they also go through. They also go through there. It's just like if you're creating content on Facebook, people think you don't have downtimes. I think sometimes that's why if you see some content creators, what they tend to is sometimes when they have really bad days, they come on social media to also cry to give this impression that life is not always
It's
rosy.
real. Yeah.
I don't want to call it. I remember one pastor's wife who also had a very bad day with issues around visa. You want to remember, but she came on Facebook and she was crying and talking about the experience, how that she couldn't get a visa to travel with her husband and kids, and she had a lot of. She was able to elicit empathy from her followers and etc. So, but like I said, the challenge is that we have the tendency to think because they show us the good parts, there are no bad parts. They are bad. Every relationship has a conflict. So what will happen to young people is while we are looking at them, we should just understand first that, because again, there is this tendency to think it's a lie. They are it's not true. Marriage is sweet.
Yeah.
Love is real. The people that are experiencing it, you know. However, know that every relationship have conflict, and also people usually will not drag their conflict on the
Yeah.
camera, and that is all right.
Yeah.
It's not all part of your life that you want other people to see. That is all right.
Yeah, so just know that social media is basically just what I want you to see. That's just the part of my life that I want you to see. So have that in the back of your mind, because you may be thinking that, this is how. No, touch grass. It's not like that all the time. It's not like that all the time. And then again, love is real. Don't be a hater.
Yeah.
Love is real, okay? Don't start saying because I'm sure he's beating her. Go,
Some of them
Don't be like that.
Okay.
Okay. Friends with benefits. What really is friends with benefits, right? What's that relationship? Because I guess it's a tag. It's one of the tags for relationship. You have boyfriend, you have fiance, then you have friend with benefits. You know. So how do friends with benefits relationships? How do they affect young people's understanding of romantic relationships? And what are the implications of casual, intimate relationships?
Let me just give context to it. So friends with benefits is more like an arrangement or an agreement to be in some sort of situationship where you just are sexual partners, you're intimate, and at any point in time, either of you can just walk out of that situationship, so to say. So you're not. So the biggest challenge is the fact that there is no commitment, right? There is no commitment. There's zero commitment. It's a funny situation, because the moment you take commitment out of a relationship is nonsense. It literally reduces it to zero, right? When you touch issues around commitment, you're touching issues around trust, right? You're touching. So that means so why do we have friends? Let's even break it down. Why do we have friends? Why do we go into a relationship? If I decide, okay, I want you to be my friend, it's so that I can have somebody I can possibly talk to, have somebody I can count on, have somebody I can share thoughts, life with.
Those are part of the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, in a friends with benefits setting, what's the biggest thing that is absent is that there is no commitment. We just meet, we just have sex, and at any point in time we can both leave the relationship. We're not committed to it. Now, what makes a relationship very, very important? There are quite a number of other things. There is communication. One of the major things that make a relationship important is commitment. You take that away. That will be just like you. This is a table. If you remove commitment, it's like you remove all the legs.
Yeah.
The moment you do that, you can't call this a table, right? That's the truth. You can't call this a table. It becomes something. It can be a bed where you can sleep. It can be something, but it loses that ability to be a table.
Yeah, the purpose.
And you see, commitment is such an important thing. And like I said, when you touch the issues of commitment, these are the 5 things you're touching. You're touching the issues around trust. Imagine a friendship without trust. Do you're touching the issues of security, that deep sense of security. You're touching the issues of stability. That means I can't trust you. That means we can be having sex today, and tomorrow you walk up to me and like you found somebody else. Imagine what it does to the heart of any human being. Stability, you are touching issues of longevity. I'm not sure this is going to last for another 6 months. I'm not sure it's going to last for another. You get what I mean? And you after touching that part, you're touching the issues of our ability to plan for the future together. You want to do that, you destroy that relationship. So, as far as I know, it's no basis. I don't even want to go into the scriptures, what the Bible talks about sexual immorality, the fact that our bodies are not made for sex. Yes, the Bible says that our bodies are not made for sex, our bodies are made for the Lord. You know, talk about the Bible, talking about the fact that the bed undefiled and etc. So these people are just coming together. As far as I know, it's just like a fling. You're just literally looking for a very good tag on your sexual immorality escapade, basically. So it's ungodly. It doesn't make sense. You know, commitment. It's just one of those things. So it's a total no for believers.
Should it also be a no for unbelievers too?
The challenge with that is the fact that unbelievers don't have what it takes to do a no for sexual issues. It's not given to morality. Them. It's not given to them, and that's why when we look at unbelievers and they sin on a normal day, it's just the way. It's just like a fish in the water. He's not able to live above. An unbeliever cannot, it's not their terrain. It's for Christians, it's reserved for saints. It's only saints that can live that kind of life.
Thank you for that. And that also brings me to my next question. Let's talk about undefined relationships, right? Because at least even these friends with benefits now, there's a definition that, oh, this is what we are doing, right? You come, we know that, oh, this is what we're here to do, right? But, talking about undefined relationships, what are the effects of being in an undefined relationship? What does it do to your emotional, well-being, right? Also, have you ever been in one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I guess you can talk from your experiences. Like, what are the effects of being in an undefined relationship? What are they like on your emotional well-being?
Okay, so it's I think most times Christians generally we can get into that space. Sometimes even without knowing. Sometimes it's intentional, other times it's unintentional. So what's an undefined relationship? It's a relationship where you got into without necessarily without coming together to define that, like without being asked. Maybe that's the easiest way to say it. You just realize that you guys are getting closer and closer, and sometimes it can start very innocently. You just have a coursemate that you read together with a guy. He looks out for you and you look out for him. He buys you ice cream sometimes, or your birthday, he brings a cake. I know it just gravitates like that. Now, the tricky thing about undefined relationships is the fact that sometimes it works. It gravitates into relationship and into marriage and into people. Now, the challenge is that sometimes it doesn't. And that's where we begin to cry foul. He led me on. He gave me green light. He deceived me. I thought we had something going and stuff like that. So, like I said, I've been in situations where I liked somebody. I know the funniest thing, the biggest challenge with undefined relationships is the fact that oftentimes you enjoy the affection, you enjoy the attention, right? Everybody, love is such a sweet thing. Everybody wants to be able to have somebody that looks out for them, and it's good, and it's God's beautiful mindset for us. It's interesting. So, but what happens is that you get into that setting and sometimes both parties are thinking that something will come out, but they're too afraid to question it because they don't know what the outcome will look like. I don't want to be the one to define it. The ladies oftentimes will be like, it's a guy's thing. But the guy is not forthcoming. He's not coming to say, I want a relationship with you.
You ask, what are we doing?
Exactly. So that's a challenge.
What are we doing?
You know why we don't want to act? Is because
you don't want to look desperate.
Exactly. Number one, you don't want to look desperate. Number two, you don't want to stop the enjoyment. You're enjoying something. You're enjoying the attention.
What if
It's
the
not
guy is
that-
just being kind?
Exactly. See, that's the
Which it
and
is
that's-
more often than not. You hear things like, "Oh, my boyfriend of 6 months told me that we're not dating. My boyfriend of 6 months told me that he's single."
Is that's oxymoron or something like that. Like this
Like
is too-
real, like the person in the girl's mind, that's her boyfriend of 6 months. In fact, she has done monthversary. Yeah. And then they ask this guy, "Oh, are you single?" I'm single. You're what, sir? So what are we doing?
People are conversing.
So one of the things that, so again, it hits on the emotion because it's emotional investment. It's a lot of, we're investing a lot of emotion into it, and it can be very frustrating. It can be really frustrating. So when you really think like, I like this person, I think I should be with this person, but the person is not forthcoming. So what I would encourage is, let me say it very categorically. There's nothing wrong if you're a lady and you are asking for a relationship to be defined. We've been on this for too many years. There is nothing, it's your life. It's your life, it's your time, it's your resources, it's your mental energy, it's your emotional energy. You don't want to waste it. So there's nothing wrong in asking, guy, what's in there happening here? Like, what are we doing?
Let me know whether I have to start preparing for a new talking stage.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm not growing any younger.
So oftentimes that no, that's a challenge. But you see, these are things that we're not willing to do because we're also enjoying the affection, we're enjoying the attention we're getting.
Yeah.
So I think basically there's nothing wrong with the lady defining or asking for a
Definition.
Or better still, withdraw. See, the truth is if you withdraw, it will give him enough time to decide if he really wants you in his space. Oftentimes, when ladies withdraw like that,
clear.
Yes, when they withdraw like that, oftentimes the guy begin to see a need for them in their lives, and then they can then ask. Oftentimes, other times, the guy may not, and then let's just
You will know
go,
that
because
truly you were just
you
wasting
don't
your
want to be
time.
in a space for so long, waste your time and energy, and finally it comes to introduce to you. This is the person I want to marry.
Thank you very much for that. I think my next and final question is to you, Izini. I'm just going to read what somebody says. Somebody says, "My boyfriend beats me." And I think it's normal in every relationship. So I want to ask you, what are the signs of a toxic relationship?
Okay. I believe anyone that is saying beating in relationships is normal has a question of identity to answer. Who am I? I think that's where it all starts from. Who you are. Are you an object? Are you someone to be battered on, beaten, shredded, torn apart? Is that who you are? I think it's the definition of your real identity. Self-awareness. Who am I? Look yourself. Forget looking at yourself in the mirror. Look inwardly. Sit down with yourself. Ask yourself, isn't it? Who am I? When you answer the question of who you are, then the answer that you give yourself will determine if you are worth being beaten by another person. That's the first place to start. Then, when you are done understanding yourself, that self-awareness, your identity, and if you are someone to be battered and beaten, then we can now understand what this person is asking. I don't know about you, but I'm a daughter of a king. Do you know? Look at you. A daughter of a king being beaten. Servants no fit near you. It's now someone out there.
The baby's princess.
I don't know how many of us watched Merlin. Did you watch Merlin?
Not.
Have you ever watched all these English movies? This In the Land of Myth and in the Time of Magic, the Destiny of a Great Kingdom. So the queen.
If you don't come, mom.
Exactly. The princess, you're a daughter of a king, and someone walks up to you, says that he wants to be in a relationship with you, and is beating you, and you are saying it's normal. My darling, can you hold your hand on your chest and ask yourself, who am I? A daughter of a king being beaten and battered by another person? and you are saying categorically that this is normal.
Okay.
It's not. It's not normal. This is why I would encourage anyone, a teen, an adult, before you get into a relationship, you need to be self-aware. What's your value system like? Because it's a conflict of values. Because you do not even know who you are, you can't even place what your values are. You cannot place values for yourself when you don't understand who you truly are. Of course. If you've not said I'm a daughter of a king, then you will not even know that daughters of kings are not to be beaten and battered. So I think we should go back to the drawing board, like we usually say. Go back to the drawing board, ask yourself, who am I? When you're done answering those questions, what are my values? Now, with these values that you've created as a result of understanding your identity, then you can answer the question, do I deserve to be beaten? Am I a punching bag? Am I a tool? Am I an object? Am I a sex toy that anyone can just wake up one morning and say, oh, lie down on the bed? I'm not doing again. As beautiful as you are, I think I'm containing myself. You notice?
I understand.
As beautiful as you are, as beautiful as you are, I mean, there is more to you. I know you must have heard it several times, but there is really more to you than what you are seeing in the mirror. You could look at yourself as someone very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. I'll borrow her words. Aesthetically pleasing, but inwardly, who are you? Take some time, answer the question, and let's know if you keep being in that relationship. And after answering these questions and you think you need to be in that relationship, then
Seek help.
you need to seek help. Yeah. Seek help.
So
Yeah.
I want to add to that.
Okay.
Actually, so as she was speaking, something came to my mind. You see, this issue of beating to some persons is normal. Like, if you grew up in a family where your dad was beating your mom, or your uncle was beating their wife, it becomes very normal to you. So even when you know that this guy loves you, you just expect that one day he might beat me. So it's just something that happens with the mind. I read a book where somebody said that there are three things that shapes us. Talk about education, experience, and then environment. So your environment constitutes you. Your education, like she's educated, so she has read books. She understood herself. She said, "Okay, this is me. No man is supposed to hit me. I'm a princess." Some person that princess, but they never aware they're princess. So you could hit them. You could beat them, and then they are just normal. Just like the prodigal son. He was a prince, but he was eating with pigs. Until he came to himself. I said, "I'll go back to my father. Even the servant in my father's house, he eats more than me." And he was a prince at that point. So sometimes it's about your environment, how some things forms in your head, and then you lose touch with your real self. So even the guy himself, as a guy, you're not supposed to touch a lady. So a lot of things happen, both the beater and the beatee. Something is wrong with both of them. So I saw something somebody posted on that day that he was trying to encourage them that it's not enough to be a wife. That you can have your life. You can do other things. You can, and as beautiful as that thing is, I think we need wives. The reason I'm saying is because when you see the kind of damage in the society, you know that we are not raising our kids. We are not raising our kids. We are not really taking time to raise our kids. The vices in the society can attest to that. For a girl to run out of her father's house, there are, for a girl of 15 years to gather the courage to leave and stay with a guy, she started planning it a long time ago. And then what gave her the courage were the things she has seen, the things she thought is possible. If she had done something and then there was nobody to caution her, there was nobody to watch out for her, and then she escaped that, she believed it's possible for her to really escape. So I think we should really start taking parenting very seriously. Parenting, like sitting down with your kids and really teach them, tell them who they are. Sometimes you could be a princess and you're not even aware. So you are very vulnerable. They are beating you, they are dealing with you. I can't even imagine somebody beating my sister. Is something wrong with you? I don't even beat my sister and you are beating. So I think it starts with education. It starts with exposure, really teaching people, okay, instead of just let's teach them that this is who you are and you're not supposed to be in this station then.
Here, and finally, to add something to what he said, if you found yourself in that place where whoever it is that you're in a relationship with is beating you, and you come from a family where your mom was also beaten, your dad was beating your mom rather, I think what you need to do is expose yourself to a family that is full of love that you want. Because you become what you're exposed to, not what you desire and wish. You can desire a lot of things, but if you're not constantly exposing yourself to the things that you desire, you realize that you're always there where you've always been. So what I would say, I would suggest that you do is find a family, find a relationship, not online. Find a relationship, a family that you can be exposed to and understand what love truly is from their lenses.
Thank you very much. Really, really beautiful takes. In fact, my mind is blown. This small girl's mind is blown. And then, because, being on this saturated social media, there's a lot of things you see and you hear, and then it just messes your mind up and everything. And so, but has been really refreshing to, hear from this fresh point of views. Let me just share some takeaways so that, you can just jot them down. Love is beyond social media, okay? Yes, those things can be real, but it is more than that. So, touch grass, okay? Yeah, there's that. Also, love goes beyond fleeting emotions, beyond what you read in books, beyond movies, it's much more than that. And it also goes beyond your feelings. It is a choice, it's an action, it is a commitment that you choose to make daily. Like, hope and pray that as we go on navigating life, navigating emotions, navigating love, romance, and other things like the title implies, the Lord helps us, and we also keep on exposing our minds to intellectual conversations like this, and real conversations that also shape our mindsets concerning the topic of love. It's been a wonderful time. I'm so blessed to moderate this session. Thank you. A big thank you to my panelists, to
Thank you very much.
To Wisdom, to Ezinne, and I will catch you next time. So keep on navigating through life and expect more from Navigating with Noel. My name is Yolanda, and I will see you next time. Bye.